Hey everyone, it's Jennifer with Rooted in the Rock, and I've got something dropping from the family branch right now. Hey everyone, welcome to Rooted in the Rock. I'm so glad you're here. Today you will notice a few things different. For one thing, I sound a little different still. I'll sort of explain that in just a minute. And as you can see, I am in my extremely messy disaster office room. So here's what's been going on. We were gone all last week out of town on this big homeschool trip. Well, I thought, I took my computer, I had my camera, I took lots and lots of video, and I thought, oh, I'll post my video for the week while we're down there. No problem. Except I didn't have a voice pretty much the whole week. I'm still not exactly sure what happened, and you can hear I'm still not completely over it. Although I actually sound, mostly back to normal, but I'm still like my laugh sounds different and I can tell. So I don't know if you can, but I can tell it's still not quite right. Anyway, they did, I went to an urgent care down there and just to make sure, because I'm like, look, we're around a few thousand people right now. Like, let's make sure this, because my throat was hurting so bad, and they did a strep test. It was negative, and they're like, it must be just some bacterial infection, whatever. Here's an antibiotic for a week. So, but no fever, you're fine. Okay. So, except for the fact that I couldn't talk. It was so bad. I don't know if I've ever quite lost my voice that bad. I'm not sure what happened. But anyway, video wasn't exactly possible because I sounded terrible. It was extremely hard to speak for many, many of those days. So anyway, whatever, stuff happens, right? So we're back. And I really didn't want to mess with the echo downstairs right now. We're still working on that, but I didn't want to deal with the whole studio setup because I've got to figure out what I'm doing for a mic down there. Because the mic that I used to use was the one I plugged in, and I'm selling it with the old camera. So anyway, long story short, different setting, you never know where I'm going to be. Maybe I'll film from somewhere different, like every month, who knows. Anyway, today Thanksgiving is this week, okay? Thanksgiving is Thursday, and everybody talks, at school you talk about being thankful and all the things. At church we talk about being thankful. But, since we kind of grow up, in America at least, we kind of grow up hearing about, every year you get to Thanksgiving, we talk about being thankful and all that. And we kind of, I think, when it's something that you hear all the time, it kind of gets old, like, yeah, whatever. You don't really pay as much attention to it because you've heard it over and over and over again, right? So I was thinking, I just wanted to share a few ways. So I'm calling this 4 ways to be thankful. And some of this is like during the fall season as you're coming up to Thanksgiving. But also some of this applies really to the whole year. Because, the Bible tells us to be thankful. And we are supposed to begin with Thanksgiving when we talk to God and do our prayers. We are supposed to thank Him every day. Every time we talk to Him, we should be thanking Him for something. So this is really something that as Christians, we should be in the habit of. This should be like another kind of main part of everyday life for us. So I wanted to share a few cool things. I am not the best at keeping up with these myself, so I don't blame anyone who perhaps does not have this down the greatest or hasn't ever done it. Don't feel bad if you've never done any of this because, it's extra and we have very busy lives and it's very hard. But here are some ideas and some really great ways for us to be thankful and show our thankfulness. Okay, so the first one is going to be seasonal. So this is one of my things that I like to hang up. I keep it with my fall decorations. And as you can see, it is very clean because it has not been used. Like very rarely has it been used. I always hang it up and I always intend on using it, but it doesn't get used as nearly as much as it should. So, but this is an idea. Now, you don't have to have a separate thing like this, but this is a cute little decoration that I got. I don't even remember. I think it's Hobby Lobby. I think it was Hobby Lobby, but I'm not sure. I'm holding my hand in front of the light. Ah, here we go. Okay, so there's a little something that I'd gotten. I just hang it up somewhere. It's not always in the same place, but it says, I am, here, maybe I should move my leaf here. Okay, I am thankful for, and this is like black chalkboardish kind of background here. So you can use chalk or chalkboard markers or whatever. And so what the intention of this is, you hang this up and then every day you can change it. You can even change it multiple times a day if you really wanted to. But every day, someone in the family can write something they're thankful for, something that happened that day, or just every day think of something you're thankful for. I am thankful for my favorite squishy pillow. I am thankful for my cozy bed. I am thankful for my favorite toy. I am thankful for, and each day, and just, ask God, ask the Holy Spirit to show you something, something to be thankful for every day. I'm thankful for something might happen, or you see something on TV and you know what? I am thankful for a car that doesn't break down on me. Like there is no end of things to be thankful for. Even when you are in a tough situation, there are things that we can be thankful for because it can always be worse. Always, right? So, as long as you're still breathing, you can even be thankful that you're still breathing, right? You know what I'm saying? You can always be thankful for something. So, anyway, this is more like a seasonal idea. A lot of people like to do this in the month of November, every day in November until Thanksgiving. Come up with something every day that you are thankful for. Okay, so you can do this with a cute decoration thing like this. You could do it with just a little, a random little chalkboard or whiteboard. You could do it with Post-it notes. There are all different ways you could do it, but you can do like a daily thing leading up to Thanksgiving. Some people have been doing like posts on Facebook as well. They do it that way, but I like the doing it in the home and showing the kids, this is really great for teaching your kids how to be thankful and different things we can be thankful for and things like that. So there's number one. Number two. Okay, so the rest of these are really an all year long kind of thing. Okay, so the first one, now a lot of people, not just Thanksgiving, but and of course, I think this is a super great idea. I love it, and I have not done it yet. I've shared it with people. I have not done it myself yet. I love it though. So a lot of people do a thankfulness kind of thing on New Year's. So you can start this. You can do this every year. You can start it anytime you want, really. But you could start it at Thanksgiving and make it a yearly thing at Thanksgiving, or you can do it as a school year thing. You can, but I've actually heard people do these ideas as a New Year's thing instead of doing like New Year's resolutions and things like that. Let's see, let's see what God has done for us this whole year. So maybe I'll bring this back up actually before we get to New Year's this year. But a simple jar. Now, it could be any kind of cute container you want. Okay, it could be a basket, it could be a jar, it could be a Ziploc bag, really any kind of container you want. But the general idea is a jar. It could be a decorated jar. This could be a fun project for the family where you get to, decorate the jar or whatever. But the idea is to have this jar and all year long, have a little, notepad, any kind of whatever papers you're going to put it on. You could cut up index cards. You could have whole index cards, Post-it notes, whatever it is that you want to do. Okay. And have that and a pen or pencil, whatever, a writing utensil next to the jar. And what you do is you keep it in like a main area of the house, like the kitchen counter, or just somewhere where everybody, sees every day. And then as things happen over, there may be something every day, there may be something once a week, you never know. But as things happen during the year, as you come across things, great things that God has done for you, it could be little things like, for example, we were just on our trip and we ended up, it's kind of neat little story, but in it, we ended up with a free popcorn. And it was just little things like that where I'm like, oh God, that was so nice. Thank you. Like just little things like that. Cause when it happens, you're like, oh yay, God, that was so awesome. But then a lot of times you never think about it again, or you forget to tell people about it, or you know what I'm saying? So write those little things down and put it in your, thankfulness jar or whatever you want to call it. And then, at Thanksgiving or when you do the New Year thing, let's see how good God has been to us this year. And you take the things out and you read them. So on whatever holiday or whatever day it is you choose to do it, you take them out and you read them as a family, as a group, whatever, and read them and talk about, God's faithfulness and God and the goodness of God. Because, big things happen and a lot of, bad things happen and all kinds of things happen. And a lot of times it's easy to forget, God isn't just, it's not just big things. You might be in church and you hear someone's testimony of this like huge thing and you kind of feel bad because you're like, well, nothing big like that has ever happened to me. But look at all the little things. Look at, that expression, oh, it's the little things, right? Look at all the little things God does for you over the whole entire year. And that to me adds up sometimes to even more than, oh, he did this great big thing for me. And the great big things are awesome, don't get me wrong. And they can be, huge as a testimony or when you're talking to someone. But, don't forget all those little things because he sees you every single day and he's doing things for you every single day. And so it's good to keep track of those and remember them. So there's actually two different ways that I'm counting this as 2 and 3, okay, on the list. I'm saying 4 things, but the same type of concept. Okay, so one is like the jar or container, okay, where you put them, put it on a slip of paper and then you take them out to read them. That's always really fun. But another way to do that same sort of thing, but in a different way, is writing it in a journal, okay? You can have just a little journal notebook like this. You could use something like a standard comp book. Okay, we have these for school and stuff. Oh, this one's a graph paper one. That's fine. Anyway, a squirrel. I saw so many squirrels this week. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. So you could use a cute, pretty journal. Dude, go to the bookstore. They have shelves and shelves. Like even Barnes and Noble has shelves of pretty journals. You can find them anywhere. Target has them, Walmart. A lot of, I am not good at keeping up with journaling, but the same concept as like the jar, you could have like a journal or a notebook. You can use a standard spiral bound notebook. You could use a little notebook journal kind of thing. You can use like a pretty writing journal, whatever you want, but keep like a book and a writing utensil, again, on the counter somewhere where everybody sees and remembers. And instead of writing it on a separate slip of paper, mark the year. That would be more of a permanent, if you want to keep more of a permanent type of record where you can go back through years and years. Maybe do it in a series of journals where you can mark the year, write the things down. Maybe each member of the family or your group or whatever that you're doing this with, each member of the group can have a different color that they write in perhaps, or, mark, their initials in front of theirs or whatever. They could also be anonymous too, I suppose, if you wanted to do it that way. But anyway, use a journal and you can mark the year and then have all the things, and at the end of the year or whenever that is, if it's Thanksgiving or New Year's or whenever you decide to do it, you go through the things and look at all the amazing things God has done, and you could keep it. Or even you could even go further, and instead of having one for the whole family, each member of the family could have their own thankfulness journal, okay, where they put all their personal things. And that way, that can go with them the rest of their lives wherever they go. And they have this journal, this record of all these amazing things that God has done for them. So when you hit those really hard times, or you're having a tough time and you're like, God, where are you? Everybody hits that season and that point at some time, and you can go back and look and say, oh, you know what? He does love me. Look at all these things. Look at this that he did for me this time. Look at this that he did for me this time. And there it is, right? Thankfulness, the good things, right? And so it's not just, answered prayers, little good things that happen. He knows you and he knows your heart. And it's always, sorry, there's the microphone. It's always so, it always just, when you are aware of that and when you're watching for that, and it's just like little hugs, little kisses from heaven, right? When those special things happen. And you're just like, oh, that's so, only you know that how much that means to me. So anyway, the journal. So you could do the jar where you make it a holiday thing, or you could do the journal and read all the things. Or, like I said, you could have individual journals for the individual members of the family or group. And then, maybe everybody choose your 5 favorite to share. Like, you don't have to, if it's a lot, you don't have to read through every single one. Like, that could get pretty tedious and long and tiring. So maybe, if everybody has a lot, maybe everybody pick your 3 favorite things that God did for you this year, or your 5 favorite things to share. Like, if you're doing this with a group, like as a group thing, you could do this as a group Bible study. You could do this in a classroom. If you're a teacher and you're doing this, with your class, you might say, everybody pick your 3 favorite things, or your 1 favorite thing, depending on how many people in the group, right? Or of course in a family unit. So I think that's fabulous. Anyway, so we have the daily seasonal way you could do it. We've got the jar, we've got the journals, notebooks, whatever. And then the 4th thing that I want to share is notes and cards to friends and or family, whoever. Okay, listen, we are in such an electronic age, right? It's email, it's texting, it's, okay. But everybody, not everybody, I can't speak for everybody, but so many people, including myself, like, who wants to go get the mail anymore because it's always junk, right? How excited do you get when you actually have a card from someone, or a note from something that's not a bill, right? Like, it means so much to someone when you get a handwritten note. That they actually, yes, getting a text, you can do this with email or text message as well. Okay. But I want to encourage people, go back to the old school snail mail and use pretty paper or fun cards or whatever, and just let someone know that you're thinking about them or thankful for them, right? Be thankful and tell other people that you are thankful, right? A lot of times we think it, and because we're always texting and emailing and whatever, you forget that, oh, I didn't actually say that to that person. Someone might go out of their way to make a good meal for you, or, carried something for you, or this or that, little things, right? Or, oh, I'm so glad you sat by me, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of times we think it and then we don't actually tell that person, and they never hear it. So be thankful, like, for your friends, for your ministers at church, for your teachers, all kinds of people. It could be even, your local, your firefighters, your policemen, things like that, doctors. You can send little notes to anyone, really, honestly, your hairdresser, your dentist, thank you for, I'm so happy that, it just getting a note means so much. It means so much. It's a little thing. It only takes a few minutes, but it is so personal and it means so much to the person getting it, right? Especially if you get a handwritten note in the mail. That person's really thinking about you, and they took time out of their day to actually write that and give it to you, right? It's so special. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a note in the snail mail. It could be, I don't know, does anybody even call it snail mail anymore? Like, I don't know if people even call it that anymore, but what, you know what I mean. The old school US Postal Service, okay? And but even, emails, whatever, people always want to tell you when something's wrong and when they don't like something. Like feedback to like stores and products and things, services, they always hear the bad stuff. They don't hear the good stuff. Tell people when they're doing good, right? Thank you. It's like at a restaurant. Thank you for being such a good server today. You were so attentive and we appreciate it. Like, it just doesn't take much and it doesn't take long. Either tell them with your voice, but really the idea is notes, cards, whatever in the mail. But if you don't want to do that, or you don't have their address or whatever, you could always do a text message. You could always do an email. But make a point to thank other people for, thank you for helping me in class today. It would have been hard to take all the kids to the bathroom, and I really appreciate that. Just little, be thankful, but be thankful to other people, not just, yes, thank God for all the things first, he's first, right? Thank God for all the things that he said, but also show your thankfulness to other people. Let them know, hey, what you did made really touched my heart, or what you did really blessed me, or what you did was so helpful, and I just want to let you know that I'm thankful for that. Right? Just let people know. It's a little thing. It's called being human and being, not necessarily being sociable, but you know what I'm saying? This is like human relations here. And just little things like letting them know when you appreciate something. Because someone might have you ever had that kind of thing happen, or that kind of feeling when you've gone and you've done all this work and you've gone out of your way and you've really tried hard to do something for someone and it doesn't seem like they appreciate it very much, and it makes you not want to do things like that. It makes you not want to do things for them. Like if you're a parent and your kids, you bend over backwards to do something for your kids and they're like, yay, I want more. And you're like, aren't you thankful for what you just got? Like, really? Like, why? That makes me not want to give you things because you're not thankful for the things I do give you, bending over backwards. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it makes a huge difference. Let people know that you're thankful, okay? So, anyway, those are my 4 things for ways to be thankful, not just for Thanksgiving and during this season, but all year, okay? This should be something that we do all year, and this should be a way that we connect with each other and a way that we bless each other all year, because it feels so good to know that someone noticed your effort or noticed what you did for them, or just plain and simple, being thankful for them helping you. If you have a worker, if you're a teacher and you have a teacher's aide or parent that comes in to help with something, like tell them you're thankful for that, thank you for that effort. And people are more willing, you're more willing to help out and do something for someone if you know that they appreciate it and they're thankful for it. So it's not, you're not doing it just to get more out of people, but just as a Christian attitude, a Christian thing to do is to, of course, be kind, but also be thankful. We are supposed to be thankful. So Thanksgiving kind of gets lost a little bit between Halloween and Christmas, and everybody is gearing up for Christmas, and but I think Thanksgiving is a wonderful holiday, and it's something that we really need to remember all year, but especially, maybe Thanksgiving, I think it's great to have the holiday to remind us, you know what? I haven't been the most thankful this year. I need to try to do that more. And ask God to help you if you're afraid you're not going to remember. In your prayers, just ask God, you know what? Help me be thankful for this year. Help me notice those things and to let people know, or to record it, right? Like me, who, empty jar. This is not a thankfulness jar, but if this were my thankfulness jar, it would be empty, because I've always loved the idea, never quite done it. Although I think I like the idea of the individual journals so that everybody can have their own. and take that with them, right? I like that too. So anyway, I like that. Anyway, oh no, I have to go shopping for pretty journals for everybody. I love paper. Anyway, so hopefully that helps, and that's some good ideas for you guys for this season and the upcoming year. I want to encourage you to do it the whole year. I think this is a great thing to do all year. So this Thanksgiving, let's be thankful for each other and thankful. I know the world is pretty much going crazy. We all feel it. We all know it. But Jesus is coming soon, y'all. Make sure you know him and love him. And anyway, let's be thankful and tell God how thankful we are for him and everything he does for us. But let's also remember to thank each other. So if you liked this video, if it was helpful, please remember to hit that like button, subscribe to catch the future content, and I will catch you next time. Have a great week. Have a great holiday. Being in the office with my books. What did I even say? Okay, this is a very small portion of my books, y'all. This is just part of one shelf right here, okay? I've got 4 of these shelves and piles on the floor. I have too many books, but I love books. Oh, that's right, okay. I was like, there's a third thing I can't remember. Maybe it's just a me thing.